Football players get some massive paydays for their hard work, incredible skill, and sometimes just sheer star power. I mean, Ronaldo is said to be making an insane salary of $250 million a year from a contract with Al-Nassr. Unfortunately, some of these players turn their fortunes into massive debts, thanks to some ridiculously awful mistakes. We're going to look at some of the players who have played in the Premier League and lost a lot of money. I mean, Hendrie muscled through not just one, but two crippling blows to his wallet.
You know, you don't even think of your kids or your family, it's just, you know, I've got to put an end to it.
Why would he do that? Let's find out. David James. David James ranks 5th on the overall list of most appearances in the Premier League, playing a total of 572 matches. He had the cleanest sheets in the Premier League with 169 before Petr Cech beat him to the record. He is also credited with the most spot kick saves in Premier League history. He had 53 caps for England between 1997 and 2010. His contribution to football and charity earned him an appointment as a member of the Order of the British Empire in 2012. With such an insane record, you would think he'd be set for life. So how did David James lose his wealth and end up declaring bankruptcy a mere 12 months after retiring from football? Well, the twist is quite simple. His marriage wrecked him. Turns out there must have been some kind of mistake in his marriage, because David's debt kept piling up ever since he separated from his wife Tanya in 2005. David's separation wasn't an easy one, because his wife demanded a significant portion of his earnings. And well, things just went downhill from there. Talk about a questionable marital investment. Yet similar to David, this next player made the wrong investment and lost it all. John Riise. Former Liverpool defender John Riise at one point was worth around £4.5 million, but he is not worth as much as he was during his active years. How exactly did John Riise's more than £4.5 million financial value go up in smoke just after 2 years after lifting the UCL trophy with Liverpool in 2005? Well, things started to go downhill when he was dragged to court after failing to pay off a £100,000 debt. His problems only compounded after falling out with his agent, Arne Merson. This disagreement centred on a suspected £3 million scam in Norway, which allegedly resulted from failed investments. To put it simply, the former Liverpool left-back made a few unfortunate investments he couldn't claw his way out of. He invested in a luxury resort development in Merson, Spain, called La Perla de Torrenueva, along with several other Norwegian players like Morten Gams Pedersen and Erik Hagen. However, the development was never completed, and the investors ended up losing a significant chunk of money. That's how Riise lost around £3 million. Wayne Rooney and Rio Ferdinand. Wayne Rooney, one of the most iconic names in English football, suffered a major financial loss after investing in a firm that was accused of fraud. But Rooney wasn't the only one. Rooney, alongside Rio Ferdinand and several other football stars, lost a staggering £25 million after investing in Knightsbridge Asset Management. Ferdinand and Rooney invested in beautiful holiday homes in Charlotte Harbor, Florida, through Knightsbridge, priced at around £300,000 on average. However, many of the properties were later sold at huge losses, with an average resale price of just £75,000 and a massive loss of £225,000. By then, allegations of fraud had already surfaced, so the police launched a 2-year investigation into the matter. Unfortunately, the Director of Fraud Investigation at the City of London Police stated that there wasn't sufficient evidence to meet the requirements for a successful criminal prosecution. That meant both Rooney and Ferdinand, alongside the other investors, wouldn't be getting their money back, and Knightsbridge just got away with millions worth of investments. Paul Merson. If you want to know how Paul Merson went broke, it wouldn't be difficult at all, because he doesn't keep it a secret. He talks about how much he struggled with it all the time. According to Paul, he lost about £7 million in the 1990s. Then his addiction helped him lose £160,000, which he had saved to buy a house for his family. He officially went broke after using his £800,000 pension to go on an insane spree. I guess it is a couple of things.
I've been in a hotel room when I was playing for Aston Villa at Charlton away for a night game, and I literally wanted to break my fingers, so I couldn't physically pick the phone up to have a bet.
He also talked about how he had to go out to play like a professional while he was struggling behind the scenes. It's all about the mask. He can step out onto the pitch looking like Brad Pitt, playing for the best team in the country, but it's all a mask. Though throughout you have to put a smile on, even if one has lost all his money, all his zeal, knowing fully well that another big story was going to break in the papers, something he wouldn't want his family to see. So imagine being so far off the bend, spending down every dime you ever made until you start thinking of breaking your own fingers just to stop yourself. That's really deep. But smash the like button only once, not twice. Hendrie earned himself a pretty penny playing in the Premier League with Aston Villa. We're talking £40,000 on a weekly basis. A very pretty penny indeed. However, just like pretty much everyone else on this list, he almost lost everything and suffered crippling debt problems after his career ended. Due to some unfortunate investments, Hendrie ended up losing a whopping sum of £10 million in a property crash, which led to the repossession of his home and the house he bought for his mum. Losing everything one has tends to weigh heavy on the mind, and Hendrie fell into a very deep depression for quite a while. So he made a couple of questionable decisions on his life. He actually managed to overcome depression and get better, getting back on his feet. But life wasn't done with him. He was struck with another major blow, which led to him declaring bankruptcy in 2012, with an accrued debt exceeding £190,000. Thierry Henry. Arsenal legend Thierry Henry had a nice and rosy life in his early years. However, he lost about £8 million after he left Arsenal for Barcelona. It would seem that staying in Spain with his family in England brought out the not-so-committed side of the Arsenal legend. So things progressed, and the couple finally separated in 2008. The divorce settlement cost Henry about £8 million of his fortune. He was closer to losing £10 million. But it seems the court chose to have mercy on him and rejected Claire's request. And if you think some of the stories in this video were weird, check out some of the weirdest moments in Premier League history.